the island nation of Morocco. The royal family's being shook there by protest. We've got Lindsay Williams coming up in the third hour. In fact, we're going to call him right now. I may just get him on in the middle of the next hour, so we have an hour and a half with him today. And I thought yesterday to call Lindsay because about 95% of what Ken Fromm, the former head of operations for Atlantic Richfield, the late Ken Fromm, we couldn't give out his name for years. I knew his name because I figured it out reading the Energy Non-Crisis. Mr. Fromm was actually fired for a while because of that book in 1980, and they brought him back. The other Mr. X in the book, well, he's not Mr. X in the book. It's all hidden in plain view, was the CEO of one of the big three oil companies separately that Lindsay knows. And going back 5-6 years ago, even though folks like Dr. Stan Monteith, who's on this network, been on the radio for over 30 years, he still likes to check things out. He was able to figure out who they were. He called both of them and confirmed that, indeed, they were telling Williams this. And one of them told Monteith, you know, don't call me again, and wouldn't return his calls after that. So I know that these men, both Mr. Fromm and the other gentleman who we can't say his name, are real, and I know that Lindsay's been talking to them. Now, it was hidden in plain view. Back in 2007, it came out from leaks to Jim Tucker and Daniel Estlin and others that they were going to plan to drive up oil prices massively. That's all we got out of Bilderberg. And then later I noticed that when Williams was covering it, that we'd had a PrisonPlanet.com article from that period a few months before Williams came out with our Bilderberg sleuths that have the connections that have been proven to be just stunning. Jim Tucker especially, 33 years now, plus covering Bilderberg. Maybe, I guess we're on to the 34th year in June when they meet again. And Tucker, let's just say, has moles who aren't Bilderberg members, but who are their secretaries, people like that. And I'm just going to leave it at that. When you get sources that high level inside where the real decisions are being made, unless they're feeding you disinformation, that is, unless Ken Fromm and the other gentleman who I can't name were telling Williams disinformation or telling him things that were his opinion, unless those factors are in there, you can take it to the bank. And, I mean, here's some of the things that Jim Tucker predicted. 2 years before the fall of the Berlin Wall, he said that it would be taken down basically in a quasi-staged event towards perestroika and détente. People laughed at him. It happened. 6 months before George W. Bush announced that he was going to accept 4 years ago that global warming was real and was going to go ahead and go along with carbon taxes, Jim Tucker said that that was from inside Bilderberg. And then months later, Bush did come out and do that. I mean, there are countless examples. Tucker has said Tony Blair is going to be called. A little-known member of British Parliament, he's going to be the prime minister coming up in 2 years. Boom, happened. He called Bill Clinton when he was a little-known governor and went to Bilderberg a year before the campaign started. Tucker called it. Rick Perry went to Bilderberg in 2007. That's how our film Endgame ends, is with us talking about Rick Perry. And I know the inside baseball here in Austin. He has got the presidential, pre-run book out, Fed Up. Even Texas Monthly's reported that their inside sources here in Austin confirmed that Perry's running for president. Maybe even with Palin, they've been in those discussions with each other, but they're deciding whose ego's bigger, who's going to be the VP. Perry won't take her as he won't be a VP, and Palin's saying that she isn't going to be VP, but they're trying to pair those two up. So coming out of nowhere, Mitt Romney's going to be big, Ron Paul's going to be big, but Rick Perry, and we knew that from Bilderberg 2007. They don't invite governors or members of parliament from countries to the events unless they're presidential contenders. I cover this in the Obama deception, and I'm covering this to detail how powerful the inside info is from inside groups like Bilderberg. or if you're able to talk to former Bilderberg Group members or attendees, the type of information you can get. Because there are just, again, countless examples of the information that we're able to get from there then actually unfolding and happening. Another example is covered in the Obama deception. 2008, we knew Bilderberg Group was going to be meeting in Chantilly, Virginia. We get on an airplane. I go up there 2 nights before it officially starts. I'm following the news. The day before it starts, it's all over the news that Obama said get on the airplane to the press corps when he was the front runner, just at that point passing Hillary, and that they were going to be going to Chicago. And they put the press corps on the plane, slammed the door shut there at the airport in D.C., there at Dulles, and took off. And there's, of course, the video, the press corps going, we've been shanghaied, we've been kidnapped. And then for a day and a half, the media raced all over Virginia and Washington, D.C. and Maryland looking for where Hillary and Obama were meeting. They went to different senators' houses. They went to different hotels. And I'm there getting home from the night before Bilderberg starts at my hotel at the Hyatt. They were meeting at the Marriott in Chantilly. And I'm watching the news, sitting there in my bed in my underwear, and they're reporting on the missing Obama and Hillary. And I actually called Aaron Dykes up in his room, and I said, aim a camera at the television set on CNN. That's all they're talking about. Get some of this on video. Aaron did one better. He went downstairs in the bar with a camera and aimed at the television. That's the little clip you see in Obama deception where you see actually a clip of MSNBC while Aaron's in the bar shooting it. They're talking about secret meeting. Where are they really meeting? And, of course, the Bilderberg Group meeting was about to take place. We had intel that Obama was going to be there. Tucker got that intel. So did Estelin. And then here comes 2 different motorcades with Secret Service with their submachine guns up in the windows with the Secret Service license plates going in. And so there was Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama meeting, and there was this big national top story at the time, will Hillary or will Obama bow out for the party? Because they were basically a dead heat. Obama in some polls was a few points ahead. Will they stop savaging each other? What's going to happen? Where are they secretly meeting? Why did they send the press corps to Chicago telling them that Obama would be on the plane? And then Gibbs, his press secretary at the time, said, well, there was a desire to meet with some people privately, and so that's why we did this. And he sat there and giggled and laughed about it to the media. But Obama was like gold then, you know, the savior in waiting, so no one dare criticize him. But the larger issue here is that you could have the 2 presidential contenders in a neck-and-neck race go meet secretly off and on at a hotel, and CNN, ABC, CBS, they're not stupid. They had sources.